Be going through now. I'm probably going to get that standard error message, but it usually works. Are you seeing anything, Corey?
Hang on. Something went wrong here. Probably. Yep, we're good.
Okay. Okay, good. Folks, well, welcome to Quantum Leap Live and with David and Corey, and we're excited to bring you Ecobuild architect Courtney Miller, who's a real creative guy and has a lot of interesting stuff to share on architecture in the eco-build sphere, and we're going to get into that. But first, I wanted to introduce my esteemed co-host Cory and I. If you don't mind introducing yourself, Corey, and just tell us how you know Courtney.
Yeah, sure. Cory Not here. I am a business partnership coach and generally business coach with Take Wayne Coaching. And I have known Courtney for a few years through BNI. He came to our chapter and joined it and he's always, it's so optimistic and high energy just to enjoy Courtney's presence whenever he's in the room.
Thank you.
I agree. Good. He's good at those elevator pitches too, and being nice. So, bringing the right energy, and he's a sharp dresser too. So, um, well, I'm gonna skip the detailed testimonial. I know you've been on the show a number of times, Courtney, and you do great work, and you're gonna show that. But if you don't mind, just introducing yourself and telling us who you are and kind of what you do. Then we're going to look at some of your designs after that. So, yeah.
Well, fantastic. This is a great opportunity. Um, I was reflecting back a little bit about how I kind of got into architecture because, I wasn't one of those people that was born an architect that, that somehow knew from the beginning I was going to be a physician, for sure. I thought I was going to be a doctor. And then I became a Christian Scientist, and that somehow didn't fit into the picture. But then went to Principia, and of course, it was designed by Bernard Maybeck. So, what a great place to be influenced by architecture. The whole campus was designed by him. He designed and built it during the Depression. That was his project. And I had these fantastic architecture history teachers, and I was also taking art. And so I was seeing all this Frank Lloyd Wright. It kind of blew my mind. This one architectural historian had been to every Frank Lloyd Wright house in the entire country. And then that summer, I was working as a Collier's Encyclopedia salesman, and we were driving along Route 101 in Marin, and I saw at night these salesmen and I, Collier's Encyclopedias, were rolling along the freeway, and we could see the Marin County Courthouse in the distance. And I said, "That's the Marin County Courthouse," because I had studied that at school, and it blew my mind. So I don't know if anybody has been there, but there's some phenomenal aspects of Wright's philosophy of organic architecture proven out in that building.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. I know it's a big part of our nation's history, the architecture and the character in a lot of places. We're kind of blessed with a lot of, I love that Victorian architecture in Oakland in particular in the Bay Area is really, we don't have to go far for some great architecture. And you were actually filling me in on the building that what's that country club you came with to me with the with me to the gala a year or two ago, and that's designed by a famous architect in
Julia
Oakland.
Morgan.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
what
So
is that country club?
Berkeley City Club?
No, it's up in the hills.
Oh,
I'm forgetting the name of it.
okay.
Up there in Oak. It's a beautiful country club. Forgot the name of it.
Yeah, it'll come to us. And then the Berkeley City Club, I know.
Mhm.
And then there's some other building. We had that mixer that was also designed at a house that was designed by a famous architect in Oakland. Juliana's house was that where the choir sang. Do you remember the story behind that house?
That house is amazing. I don't know. I forgot his name, but that architecture firm does a lot of, you know, this sort of crazy, wild, fun architecture, retail oriented kind of, you know, theme with these various themes. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah, it'll come to you. Sorry to put you on the spot with some of that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but I know I love talking to you about it, and it's just fun to kind of tour around Oakland with that in mind. All the
Acme
okay,
Design or Acme Architects.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. Well, go ahead and if you can just pull up some of your slides, and we were going to take a look at some of your new designs. I know we always love seeing some of the new stuff you're working on. If you have
All right,
anything
here
you
we
can share
go.
with us, yeah.
Let's see. Should I go full screen? See view. This doesn't do full screen. Actually, it doesn't. Just
That's okay. We got
pull
a
it
good
down.
screen on that. Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. As it turns out, it is this year is starting our 8th year. So we've been our firm is specializing in residential commercial architecture and work with, given our name, we work with an eye towards the environment, resilient design. Let me minimize this with considerations for client health and ecological building practices, creating the unexpected related to client aspirations, which might be special characteristics of the site leading to happiness and joy for generations to come. Here's a sustainability buzzword: decarbonization, which some people may know, aka home electrification that's happening around California. But we take a more holistic approach. Building envelope upgrade to reduce energy load, high indoor air quality with smoke season filtration using MERV 13 filters, efficient appliances and lighting. Smallest possible heat pump mechanical system reduces the cost and size of your solar battery storage system. To make this affordable, it's essential to sort of invest in the low hanging fruit of good insulation that then makes you don't have to have as big as a solar system to, and then the mechanical system can be reduced to minimal size. So some of the basic kind of building envelope things are what I learned in my, you know, early days on the East Coast, particularly given, you know, the building envelope there is so important. Here is sort of a little a diagram of a typical uh, home electrification project. You have your electric car, induction stove, new heat pump, HVAC system, doing your weatherization, the building envelope insulation, and of course your solar installation by Derek Holt, one of our BNI members. This is a smoke filter, a smoke filter box that is kind of auxiliary typically to your furnace, an electric heat pump furnace, air handler. You would add this on as a special filter that could be in bypass mode. But I know some designers or mechanical designers don't like to do it as a bypass. They have it built into the system, and make sure that the filter is big enough that it doesn't create a pressure drop, having that on. I participated in it's called the Building Electrification Clubhouse with the city of Oakland put on, and I moderated a panel called HVAC Upgrade Basics with Larry Waters, Keith O'Hara, and Pierre Delforge, and found out about Harvest Thermal, which is this really interesting way to use your heat pump water heater as a battery to use to capture off-peak load energy and then deliver it, say, in the evening when there's the peak load. You've let's say you built up the hot water in that tank during the day when it was off peak load, and then you use it in your hydronic air handler that delivers heat, not through a solar battery, for example. And so it reduces the size of your solar system, because you're using your heat pump water heater as a battery for space heating. It's an ingenious system that I found out about through participating in this building electrification clubhouse that was put on by the city of Oakland, which is really a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. Courtney, just a quick time check. I know Corey has some questions for you, so if we can take about 3 or 4 more minutes on the slides, and then we might bring
I
those
wanted to
down.
show you this Channing Street copper electric range, which I found out about as well, participating in that. That this electric range has a built-in battery. So what it does is takes a lot less stress on your main electrical panel. You can stay with your 100-amp panel. You don't have to upgrade, because the oven has a built-in battery and charges enough off-peak times of the day, so you don't have to upgrade to a 200-amp at this electric range. Just quickly jumping through, this is some of the commercial projects that we've been doing. A mixed-use building on International. We did a proposal for converting the warehouse to multifamily there on the right, creating this new courtyard, this new outdoor courtyard. This was a mixed-use feasibility study. And then the developer ended up hiring us to do a 21-unit townhouse project down in Southern California, which basically, again, just a feasibility study. And these are just some of the interiors that this is some of the regional design influences that shape the projects that we do. I know we're running out of time, so probably way too many slides.
Yeah, no problem. We're on this show, we always say we like to kind of set it up, and then people want to know more, they can get in touch with you. So kind of
Yeah.
put your best foot forward type of thing. And I'm gonna turn it over to Corey for some of your questions, Corey.
Sure. So, Courtney, what has inspired you or continues to inspire you as this Ecobuild architect?
I would say that, we're kind of in and there's no question that we're beyond the sort of crunchy granola hippie days of green building, which was, started in the 80s and 90s. And, when I was sort of in the formative stages of that development and, participating in all these conferences, and we're all kind of patting each other on the back and sort of making ourselves feel great about all these things we're doing, but seeing, the huge scale of what's the planet is where it is right now. I think I'm inspired by the sort of people like Peter Calthorpe that do large regional planning, where we're looking at a much larger scale, of how do we actually plan entire regions and bring in the mass transit and think about how the future is going to, how we kind of address the bigger scale issues, rather than necessarily the little electric heat pump electric ranges that kind of rearranging the deck chairs on the, those are the kind of things that I look at that kind of blow my mind, that I think are so essential. But given our politics and how divided we are, I think it's been, definitely not encouraging, given the stage we're at on the planet, that we're as divided as we are, when we should be moving forward in a different direction. I mean, California has provided so much leadership, in renewable energy, for example, or, making sure that all new homes have to be zero net energy homes. That's just part of the code, because California has been, showed leadership there, thanks to the governor and Pam Pavley. I forgot her name. The woman that was a legislator that helped.
Yeah, Fran Pavley. She's from the Bay
Fran
Area.
Pavley. Right.
actually did a report on her efforts, and yeah, a lot of that stuff came down during Arnold with
She nudged
bipartisanship. Yeah.
Arnold along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of maybe the
I'd like to see us really go much more aggressively on renewables. That why don't we have wind turbines right out in the ocean? You know, why doesn't aren't we completely 100% renewable in California? But that's kind of more of my dream and it's obsession that I hope that isn't, not everybody necessarily shares.
okay. Well,
So where do you see the world of architecture going, especially with AI and all this starting to happen? Things are just changing like crazy.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about the fact that, you know, public, outdoor, urban design, mixed use kind of spaces are an area that I've kind of dabbled with in the Bay Area, working for, you know, large firms. And one of the things that I find to be, you know, sort of a dark shadow is to what degree are we going to see robots, you know, appearing in urban spaces, and to what degree do we really want to even be here anymore? I mean, in the Bay Area, or if these kinds of things start to happen with drones flying around, and it's a scary time. I'm not. I'm a little bit, you know, concerned, worried.
Yeah, well, I was just reading an article about so the next big thing is going to be the 3D, what would you call it? The meta, I don't want to use their name, but essentially the 3D glasses and so on, where we'll just be as augmented reality.
Right.
And basically it will be replacing smartphones by 2030. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens then. And that might have some interesting applications for architecture as well, because of just the nature of being able to move around while also being in a space, you know? So who knows what that's going to look like. And AI will definitely make that take off.
Well, no, I mean, architects are having to, and planners are having to address the rapid change, you know, rapid climate change, and to what degree architecture needs to respond to events like Paradise that you know, Californians
That,
are very much aware of how fragile their environment is, and being right at the, you know, right in the middle, right in the frying pan here, you know, celebrating the rain that we're having this year, but knowing full well, you know, what cycles that we go through. Architects have to be ready with those resilient, you know, solutions for helping communities, people coming up with solutions for their homes.
right. Yeah. I'll have to send you, there's a great series called the Connection series. And I think one of the very first ones, he talks about how uh, medieval Britain, so around 1300, they encountered an ice age. Everything went from, warm and relatively temperate climate, the Mediterranean climate, to very cold. And that actually began the advent of fireplaces and homes there, which, was a whole new, so architects really had to really, whatever that early architecture had to figure out how to suddenly heat homes where they hadn't had that before.
I
And
think it had, I guess,
that's a
that
really interesting,
medieval cooling period, ice age, I think is
right?
caused by this big pool of water that poured down
Sure.
to
Yeah.
knocked out the current, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was just sort of interesting on the effect on architecture that the sudden climate change had on, all of medieval Britain, and and what that led to. Some very interesting developments. I'll dig that out for you. So who is your ideal client?
Um, you know, we work with fairly modest middle class clients who, uh, I mean, the one that came to me that was one of the best clients that I've had, you know, in over these last 7 years, was someone who they already had PV on the roof. They had a gray water system they'd already installed. They were committed to. They had certain values that urged that they caused them to react to my name, the name of my company, and my advertising, that we found a lot in common, things in common. She wanted to do salvage. You know, she salvaged a lot of the appliances and uh, millwork that was in the house, and which was, it was great to be able to have to coalesce on our goals for the project, and it went beautifully, and turned out to have that kind of collaboration from the beginning with shared values. That really is something I really love.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. I will just say, Corey, that we did a great video, Courtney and I. He hired me to do a video about a gray water system, so I'll put that link in the comments. It kind of helps bring this to life.
That was the
You're okay,
video we did of that
if you're
project,
okay if
Dave.
I share that,
So
Courtney,
is that
yeah,
something that you
yeah.
design, is gray water systems? Is that a
No, well,
okay.
no, just
He was
Just how it
actually,
works in the house?
yeah.
what?
He did the kitchen there, but then he was
Ah,
showing the gray water. So
nice.
that's a little bit of an example of what he was talking about, how those shared values, and then they wanted to hear about his vision for the kitchen. But when he put up that slide about the full house, that kind of reminded me of that project, how you have these different pieces that are part of the whole
Right.
system there, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the husband that he went out and showed all the sort of how the water was being distributed out around the house, and um it's amazing how rare that a gray water system, I mean, how few people have them, but it's how essential
I'd
they
like one. Yeah.
it is for anybody who wants to do continual irrigation, and not be able to, and not, and protect yourself against the potential to be told, no, you cannot irrigate.
Right.
Yeah, great. Well, we are at time here, Courtney, so we're gonna have to end it there. But um, thanks for coming on, and we'll keep in touch about those new projects and how we can kind of continue to collaborate and promote some of the great work that you do. And of course, we'd love to have you back soon, probably in the fall or maybe early next year. Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much. This is really a great opportunity that I
Yeah.
have you to be on your show. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Courtney.
no problem. Great work, and thanks everyone for watching. We have a video producer, Don Wilcox, coming up here shortly.
All right, great.